Whoop, see Sickerdoodles, it's online now. Woo.
What kind of time expected?
Whoops. That's gonna annoy some people. I accidentally opened Shadow of the Colossus when it's empty. So something like blah 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 blah. I love how YouTube decides what it's gonna pick when you decide to start entering, you know, the hotkeys. But let's see if the stream is up. The stream is up. That's great. That's great. My foot's a little sleepy. So, last two guys left off. You did a whole bunch of cool shit. You were cool guys that saved the day and stopped time bubbles and all that crap.
Yep.
Up high in the mountains.
Has there been enough time for the couriers to fetch my fizz?
Well, you really only been up there for like a day.
Eh.
So to be fair, you'd have to stick around a bit. I mean, you could easily just say you're gonna have some downtime, and we'll hand wave a bunch.
I guess we will enjoy the village's hospitality for a couple of days.
Very hospitable. They love having you around.
Kinda chill for a bit.
Verily, verily.
Well, we nearly died last time, and we got like a week-long time skip.
In that case, I think it was like a week to get back and forth, so yes, your hat will have arrived.
No. We slept at the dragon's place for like a week.
No, 2 weeks, I think.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, and when we got into this village, I paid for express delivery of my hat.
Your hat. Yes, yes. Which would take like a couple days to get back. So, you'd have to stick around if you want your express delivery to end up in your hands.
All right.
So what are you going to do in the meantime while you're waiting for your hat to arrive? You TF2 players.
Carousing, just soaking in the congratulations for saving another village.
The congratulations don't really last as long as the other one. Because, you know, people just want to go on with their lives and kind of forget that ever happened. Who knows how long it's been going on? Like a couple of months, wasn't it? I think it was like
commission.
It wasn't too long, but it was long
commissioning
enough that,
like, another statue.
That being said, you did like destroy a very big attraction at the top of the hill, so they're not as congratulating as you would imagine, since you caused a lot of property damage. Also, the cultists. After the time bubbles went away, like a lot of the cultists kind of went away, and during that time, like there was a hectic few minutes in which we were like, oh, whoops, we're out of here. So there was. It wasn't exactly like you guys solved the problem and everything went back to normal. Like there was a whole bunch of pushing and shoving to get them out. So they kind of blame me for that. They were fine before you showed up.
They were annoying before we showed up. Yeah.
I mean, they should be grateful we didn't kill them.
Yeah. But yes, you are offered like a nice little place at the inn to stay for the time being. It's nice and quiet, but this is like a village that sits out of the way of most things. You see some trade caravans coming through. All them goblins counting their coin. Enjoying the fact that there's now people to trade with, instead of everyone being like sad or trapped in a time bubble.
Yep. Well, I guess I could ask for any news they might have.
Okay. So, as you wait around, and one of the lighthouses, particularly the one on the spooky hill, has essentially erupted into a big beam of light and caused a whole bunch of ruckus. Like news starts to bleed in. Like a lot of the sages that were here examining time bubbles were like, hey, there's something happening over there. So how about we go over there since there's nothing happening over here? So the village suffered a bit of a brain drain in like a few days.
Erupting, you mean, did it light up or was it the one that we blew up?
It's well, from a distance, it looked like a big pillar of light. And
Mhm.
according to the reports that are sort of bleeding in over time, the lighthouse was on, and now it's not. And it seems to be surrounded in a strange cloud of energy that people don't quite know what to make of.
Was it this one?
Yes, it was that one in the spooky fields.
All right.
And there's nothing like immediately nearby, so most people are just like, I will just leave well enough alone. So as you can imagine, it's just a lot of like tall tales of people like, I was there and I did it, and all that kind of stuff. Even though people generally don't go in the lighthouses, you do know that most people treat them with a degree of reverence because they're very odd structures that seem to have no function or purpose and just look really nice. So people ascribe them a function beyond what they probably have. I mean, from what you know, they technically are just lighthouses. Like, they do function as a lighthouse would. It's just that you have heard some ideas that might suggest that they also open the end of the world or something. You know, it's called synergy of functionality.
Yeah, guide ships, destroy world. Same thing. Multi-purpose.
But there really isn't that much to go around town. Like, it's not like they need to rebuild or anything. Like, they're gonna leave that mansion the way it is. They don't have any need to rebuild it until like whoever owned it, who left a while ago, comes back and wants it back.
Yeah.
So as it stays mostly quiet, you can rouse around town, get to know the local culture. The way this place is built is it's kind of like in steps. Like everyone lives on their own little flat surface on the cliff, going up, up, up. And yeah, that's kind of it. The houses are not too fancy. They're mostly made out of like quarried stone. The roofs are made out of what timber they have, and then they put like more stones on top of it. Which in turn makes the houses very well insulated against the bitter cold that sometimes sweeps through. Like whenever a certain wind picks up, you see people immediately diving for cover.
Okay, nasty weather.
I'm going to roll for something as you guys are waiting around.
Alright,
If it's going to be cold, I'm going to hate, but I will hate this.
do we hear about any interesting locations nearby?
Well, there is the cave to the south, which how do I put this in the bluntest way possible? And the cave to the north is a dragon. The cave to the south, no one quite knows. It is the origin of a river, so it's like attached to the river to where the river comes from, which makes no sense because it's quite high up the mountain, and it doesn't make any sense that the water would just be appearing there magically and starts flowing down in like a half. Like normally, water happens because a bunch of aquifers, like a bunch of water, groundwater, starts to mix together into this flowing current. It doesn't make sense for halfway up a mountain for a river to just pop out of a cave. And that's kind of what it is. So a lot of people say, well, there's a water element or something in there. And while that cave has mostly just been, it's a cave with water, and people stop by there for drinks, people have been hearing strange noises coming from within.
And
Do elementals naturally occur?
River mouth.
Elementals, well, the way it works in this world is there's two ways an elemental can show up. One is that the elemental plane is particularly weak in an area. Like if you're really close to like a big body of water and you're like in the water itself, it's possible that the plane of water sort of seeps in, but most elementals don't go into this plane because it's like, well, you can sit in a world that's made for you, or you can go to a world that's not made for you and will probably try to kill you. So most things just stay where they are. The other way is because of an ash storm causing the veil between worlds to weaken and then kicking up a fuss, and then suddenly you have an elemental walking around. So yes, they do occur semi-naturally, but if you see one, it's a weird thing.
Okay. Potentially a elemental or a hole between planes. Or just some other magic.
Who really knows?
I mean, if it comes to it, we can probably just collapse the cave.
Certainly. You can always try.
Oh,
Well,
that's something we...
unless you ask Yoda, then there is no try.
Do or drown in a eternal sea. Eh.
What?
So, a river-mouth cave.
As a
And
quick footnote, by the way, and this is sort of an aside to everything that's happening. You guys don't just sit still and nothing happens, because the cultists are kind of pissy about this, and eventually the Ashen Lords do a whisper like, "Hey, it was these guys who did it." So there are you know how there's sometimes like a montage of time passing, and it's like all these assassination attempts that sort of get thwarted. That's kind of what happens in between, in your waiting time. There's all these would-be
Do we have
assassins
like
who
a pile?
Yeah.
A pile of corpses around us? Nice.
And it's also
If
kind of
only it
pissing off
was
the
a
villagers,
necromancer.
because there's all these corpses now.
But it's like we're giving your Undertaker
Something
a
to
job, basically. Yes.
I imagine Undertaker.
I mean, sure, we can leave, but these guys are gonna keep showing up.
Fair enough.
I mean, if you guys want to farm some XP, sure.
They don't give any XP. Like they're rookies. They're like
I know, but they probably do for the villages, which are probably like level 1 or something.
As a result of your work, the village now has 5 level 2 warriors.
Yes.
So
I'll step off for like a couple
your
of
hat
minutes.
does
I'll be
arrive
back.
after a while. Like you get your little hat. I forgot what it did,
Nice.
but it probably did something.
Feathers
Cool.
are cool.
I forgot what.
Yay, hat.
What did your hat do again?
I think I landed on it, just kind of always staying on my head. No matter what happens, the
No
hat
matter what
stays
happens,
on.
you always have your hat.
Like I didn't really want it to have anything too flashy.
Not a hat that could pop little fireworks out. Come on, come on! I'm just gonna stab you. The thing is, so yes. As you receive your hat, the guy kind of holds out his hand. It's like, if you can get a tip, like he's being cheeky, because it's like been a week.
Oh, you want tip?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll throw him a couple of silvers.
He holds out his hand, and as you basically push some money into his palm, he kind of leans in a bit and looks around a bit shifty.
Oh.
And, he asks if you've heard yet that that they found something and they're moving it.
Found what and where?
Well, he was a Nubric, he explains, and he said, "Well, I asked around a bit about you, so that I, you know, just curious about the whole statue and plaque thing that's been going on over there. Like they probably have like the base built out or something."
Yeah, that's great.
So he kind of asked around a bit and heard about. Oh well, you went out to that camp near the geyser, which is no longer on the map because of some reason. Geyser got clogged up, kids. But yes, he asked around a bit, and apparently some orcs went there later to clean up, and they found nothing. The camp itself was destroyed, like level to the ground. But what they did find was a strange artifact that they have since been transporting over to a place for the Watchmen to examine. It went up to the fort, and now it's coming back down here.
Okay, what kind of artifact?
He kind of shrugs. There's like, I don't know. They don't know. That's why they want to examine it. From what the rumors have been whispering over to him, there's a strong idea that whatever this device is, it is able to control the weather itself.
Oh, well, that is.
Like, not just in the way of, like, it makes a little rain cloud appear, like, you can straight up change the climate in an area with this. Cause an ice age, that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's a bit more serious.
Mm-hmm. They had snow in Newbrick, though.
Okay, okay. And they were moving it where?
Through here, off to the shoreline. They're taking it to the capital.
Ah. Right, right. And who's doing the moving? The watchman?
The Watchman.
Hmm. Oh, this is intriguing. Thank you for informing us.
Thank you for the tip. And he gives you a little wink.
Mhm.
Can I get a perception roll out of the two of you?
Perception roll. His Como is still out.
Oh, he went out?
Yeah, he said he needed to do something.
I wasn't paying attention. Whoops.
All right.
Whoops, whoops, whoops. Oh no, Cobalt, I still have the wrong title up for this. Need to change that a bit.
Oh, yeah, I still have the wrong name. Shady. Let's see how. Ooh. Yeah, I'm blind as a bat.
Can I even find the old one? Because it's been a while since we've done this one. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. Okay. At least the title's good now. 6 perception, aw. We gotta wait for Como, though. Get Como's perception roll in there.
Yeah. Had a fun freebooter session last night.
What happened?
We sent them on a kind of. Well, the group received the same kind a mission to retrieve a will from a brother and sister who really do not get along, but they both accidentally hide the same group to retrieve the will. And well, and party went to the manor house, kind of is in a dilapidated condition, not being well maintained, until they get to the basement, which is apparently where the guy, this well-to-do miserly merchant, lived for the final parts of his life. Anyway, this was kind of this adventure that I slightly like repurposed for the freebooter system.
Mm-hmm. That's
like
nice.
The original adventure was just this guy had dealings with a group of local druids, and with them I had kind of collected some guard animals into his basement to basically prevent his children from stealing the will for themselves.
Heck.
Hello, what did I miss?
Oh, some minor explanation stuff.
It's okay.
Yeah, like the original vault had just some normal animal guardians, a dog, some monkeys. So I can give them a bit more interesting twist.
Mm.
Like made added some more dogs, made the dogs into pet dogs.
Pet dogs.
There were a couple of baboons there guarding one room. I made them into these kind of uh, ear-blind wuxia kung fu baboons.
Anyway, Como, perception check, please.
It's just kind of tired. Not good at explaining the stuff. Oh.
That's fine.
Well,
Dang.
Jesus. Well, the two of you don't notice anything particular out of order.
well, you just rolled a 6. I rolled a 1.
No, you
Well,
rolled a 4.
I rolled.
Oh no,
I
you rolled it.
a
Yeah, I rolled a
2.
2. Oh, it actually tells you the modifier, not the number.
Mm.
I rolled a 1 despite the fact that I have +5 to it. Ugh.
Well, I have +4.
It's all the cold weather. I'm just sitting there rattling my teeth.
I'm too enthused about my new hat.
Yeah, but you don't notice anything too much out of order. So as the village is getting back to normal, you just notice that. Are you going to stick around any longer, or are you going to go someplace?
Well, there is that river mouth cave that we could investigate on our way to the lighthouses.
What do you say to that, Como?
Sure.
Nice.
It's a detour. I mean, we've been doing a lot of detours, but detours are nice.
Certainly.
Oh yeah, do we hear anything about what ruin this might be?
What ruined which might be?
The one that's south and west of the river mouth cave.
That one.
Yeah.
Let me just get through my notes for a second. So, you know, Wellspring was along a river. This one is too. The way this particular place has been set up is it's kind of built into the mountains, like right where the marshes start to flow over.
Mm.
Let me just put a name on this place. Where's the text tool?
Did we not destroy 2 lighthouses so far?
1.
Yep. Black.
Well, I say touch of the mountains. Actually, those are badlands. Like those are big, steep mountains. It's not a great place to be, and then it sort of gets moisture and moisture. This is built into one of the last big spires before the swamps hit. They're quite fertile swamps, which is why the local area has mostly been used for cultivating crops. It's one of the big bread baskets in the area. In case you ever need surplus, you go to Zeltron. Because while it is a ruin, some of the outlying parts, which are deemed safer, quote unquote, are used for housing. Zeltron itself is a rather monumental fortress that goes deep into the mountain to the point that some people believe it goes all the way up. But people generally don't go in because it's full of ghosts and scary things. And it's like, well, we could go in there, but it's just a fortress. Like, there's probably not too much interesting in there.
Yeah, never any interesting stuff in the fortresses. Oh, right. Boyga, I heard of some interesting rumors recently.
Yes.
There's apparently they remember the place where the Ash Cultist encampment that we visited at one point. It's
Well,
no longer
well, we visited at least one.
the one was somewhere here.
Yeah. The very first one.
Yeah, it was apparently destroyed by something, like completely leveled. And
Oh, it's
they,
probably one of those Titans.
yeah, maybe they found an interesting artifact there,
Indeed.
something that capable of altering the weather, like on a blood scale, like potential ice age kind of level.
Yeah, I will hate that.
And
Literally,
it's
that picture is me right now. I hate cold.
Don't like that thing. No, sir.
true here.
I like how the speech bubbles have this little shiny on them. It's like a little detail. It makes me moister than an oyster. God damn.
You did say that it's getting moister.
Moist. But yeah, the climate changing stuff is like what they have figured out so far it is able to do. As like they pushed a few buttons. Who knows what else it can do? You
Yeah.
sure don't, because you aren't even near it. It's a thing! Why is he so upset over thing? Why does he have his heads up so like, ooh? Oh, and he's ain't scared of no things. I love these snacks. This is one of my favorite artists because they make such cute work. Staring contest. Snakes don't have eyelids. They don't? What? I never knew. I've learned a thing. But yes, magic device, and they're moving it this way as well because they're trying to get it to the capital. It sounds like a great idea. Darn snootin'. That's a new one. Back to business. Put in your business suits.
I am in my business suit. This is literally the only suit I have.
I will never. What's that about? I will never forget. And then he's like, "Shut." What?
No, you're not reading it right.
Oh no! I'll never forget you. These are terrible. I love them. But what are you gonna do with this information, Como?
Hmm.
We should probably investigate because cold would suck.
Yeah, I mean that's just an example of what it could do.
Yeah, it could go the other way too.
At the very least, we can take it in our own possession or whatever artifact they've uncovered.
Yeah, it's been transported by some of those watchmen.
We're gonna need a bigger box.
Yo!
Just collect all the world-ending artifacts and stuff them in a lead-lined box.
Jeez.
Good idea. Perfect plan. Nothing can go wrong.
Certainly can't. Impossible.
Okay, so what's your plan then? Do we just hang around here and wait for the caravan to pass, or do we set up some
No.
kind of ambush?
Well, unless we actually want something. Well, I mean, you got your delivery, so unless you're specifically waiting for something, we can probably head out to the camp and see what's what. Or wait here.
They'll probably make a stop here if they come by, so.
If. Do we know the direction that it's moving?
Consider the guys said that they were part way to this to Nistral, and they are going by road, so most likely they're going through Nistral because that's how the roads work around here. Also because it's a good stop place for a quick stop.
Hmm.
I mean, we could intercept it like halfway.
Yeah.
Heck.
A swamp ambush.
Neat. But that's up to you.
But are
Why
they
don't?
hostile? I don't know. We don't exactly have a history of attacking convoys, trading ones.
If you want to
Well,
make enemies with them, that's fine by me.
Well, yes, but we probably shouldn't.
Like, what's your big fear and motivation behind this? Because they're taking this thing away from where you are. So if you don't
yeah.
want them to use it to make cold weather, the best part is they're not using it near you.
Well, I mean, if it's Ice Age, then it's probably it's gonna cover a large area, potentially the whole world, which is like that's near me.
Good to see what
Well,
side of the rumor mill you're on.
just automatically assuming the worst.
It's a safe option,
If I
but not a
assume
great way to make friends.
if well, do we just trust them not to use it because I'm gonna kick their ass? Literally show up there, raise the finger, catch your breath. If you use this thing and you make everything cold, I will kill you, and just walk away.
Como, there's really nothing for them to be gained out of making everything cold, though. They're just gonna, like, from what you can amass, what you can think because you're a smart person, the best you can think is they're probably just gonna look at it, see if it can do anything that's good, and if it does nothing good, then it'll just break it. Like, the Watchmen are not looking for WMDs. Quite literally the
Yes,
opposite.
but which one have been shown to be compromised? Also, you're highly underestimating my smarts. Here's a picture.
Of course, there's a picture. You got secret passwords?
I don't know the other one.
But I want to read all of them.
Just the last one.
I may not know much, and that's it. That's the whole story. Look how it takes him so long to realize that. Want to hold hands? Ugh. But
Snakes
yes.
are not very smart, and also they keep breeding them so they get the recessive retarded gene, so they're stupid.
Wait, what?
There's a problem with like pythons and such.
Mhm.
Basically, they have like they retarded. Some of
No.
them.
Huh.
That's bully. No bully.
Yeah, and it only keeps going on because people keep breeding them because they look cute.
No. No. But yes, it's up to you guys what you're gonna do. As I said.
Well, I don't want to make enemies with them, and we can probably trust them because so far this has been a somewhat lighthearted adventure.
Hmm.
So far, they've not been one to cause trouble.
Yes.
Okay, so we leave them alone then. Not do any daring heists.
Heists. So then, what is your move of action?
Hmm. Well, if we leave, if we're not going to mess around with the climate-destroying artifact, then maybe go check out the cave then.
And you can always just specify if you want to know something from like the convoys or the locals, if you want like some information to work with.
Um.
Well, I mean, we've been out of it for like 2 weeks. We might as well actually catch up with stuff.
Well, then what do you want to know?
Well, how many like lighthouses are lit up right now?
2. One of which has been shut down.
Out of 7.
Out of 6.
I thought there was 7 of them. One moment.
It's clearly 6 on the map.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Damn. Either I'm having lapses in memory or I just suck at counting, which is appropriate for the time period.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the headcanon in God of War.
Yep.
He asks his son to translate things because he can't read. He's not testing his knowledge. He literally doesn't know how to read this stuff.
You know, you could always just ask where the cultists went if you want to just go and kick some butts.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, that's fair enough. But yes, the cave would be an interesting idea.
Noises have been.
Do we have an idea what to be preparing for?
Well, no one actually went into the cave. Like, they don't have to. There's nothing like it's just a freaking cave. Like, people don't just go in caves for no reason when they got lives to live. Especially not because most people that are on the roads are goblins who just want to do trade, and there's no trade to be done in a cave. So.
Unless there's kobolds.
And because it's not the settlement, the watchmen don't do anything with it. So, for the most part, it's been untouched. It's just like, there's a river here. Woo, how nice.
It's a mystery.
Yes. Reaching the cave is not difficult because you can just walk along the road, you'll eventually reach the river, and then you just follow the river up.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair enough.
All right then. Are there like any news on are the roads more dangerous now, or?
Well,
with the cultists traveling now, probably not as much because they're dangerous.
Wouldn't that make the roads more dangerous?
Well, technically, the rest of the world is like level 1, unless specified. So cultists at level 6 traveling around is probably a force to be reckoned with. I'm just saying that a bunch of cultists that are supposedly mages and such that are running away from a place, that's probably going to give everybody pause.
Well, they're not like running away. They just like packed up their stuff because everyone was getting mad at them and there was nothing for them to stick around with.
Mm.
And they kind of got shooed out.
All right. Yeah. All right then. Well, let's head south then.
Okay. You head down south. The road is treacherous because you go through mountains and badlands. It's quite a nice view if it wasn't so dry and like dusty and sandy and rocky all over the place. You can see like water flowing through valleys. And eventually
Good thing we actually have the good boots.
Eventually you pass a rather big river for how high up you are. It almost looks like half a glacier melted all at once.
Oh, just like a raging mountain river. Okay.
Yeah, but it's like really high up.
But rivers do happen relatively high up.
Yeah, but not like this big.
Different for this one.
Like you don't have to be a geographer to know like this. This is an unusually large river for how close to the top of the mountain you are. Like there's no way for unless it's like a geyser that's bumping up against the ceiling. There's no way there could be this much water just flowing out.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's does indeed look pretty up.
Oh darn!
What?
If we had the artifact, we could have frozen this and just walked up. You freeze the river and you walk up and there's like a water elemental also frozen. And you just kind of pick him up and push him through the teleport back. into whatever he came from. Practical solutions.
Mhm.
I should probably open my own company. I could call it metagaming.
Heck.
Uh,
But yes, is it safe to follow the river upstream?
Well, by the looks of it, yes.
Well, as long as we don't get washed away, then yes, totally, we should investigate where this is coming from. I mean, it's fresh water,
It's very fresh.
which can
Although it's got a strange taste
probably.
to it.
How
oh,
strange.
Well, you swirl in your mouth a bit. Left, right. I need a Constitution saving throw.
Oh heck. I'm just standing there like with my mouth open catching the droplets or whatever. Like a dumbass.
man.
Wow.
Okay, what the hell?
Today is a day of sixes. Y'all passed, but y'all ain't doing good.
Ugh.
As you swirl the stuff around in your mouth, like bloop bloop bloop, side by side,
Tasting
it's
wine.
got you start to notice that like a sickly sweet taste is starting to overtake, and it's also got a strange aftertaste of iron.
Heck.
Huh.
Mineral water.
That's weird.
Oh, that's mineral water. Is
Oh.
it carbonated?
It might.
Do
be
we even
yes.
know what carbonated is? But yeah.
No, but it's a strong set of flavors that you don't expect from a mountain river,
Heck.
unless someone like
Huh.
there's like a sugar crystal in the water somewhere,
Ah, that's
like those ones from Avatar that grow on you.
Wow.
all right. That is
Well,
definitely
don't swallow
weird.
it.
You're gonna swallow it?
Don't swallow it.
It's not that bad. Yeah, it's kind of funky
It
taste to
gives
it.
you
but-
diabetes.
It's diabetes water. You figured me out. Gotta get your insulin now, kids.
There's a status condition.
We're not playing Shut Up and Slam Gaiden. Diabetes is not a status condition. Which it is in that game. Which is hilarious. But yes, you also notice that the water has a strange like shine to it. Kind of like an oily shine.
Oh,
Huh.
okay.
Is
Huh.
it like rainbows on top of it?
Kinda. It's you see better when it's motionless.
Wow.
Hmm. Like, could I make some kind of determine some properties of this?
How do you intend to do
Water.
that?
Just first the visual inspection, just staring at it long and hard, more tasting,
Well, you're
smelling
not a
it.
mage. So the best you can figure out is, well, iron is in blood, and iron is found in suits of armor. So maybe someone dump their bloody suit of armor in the water.
With sugar and maybe oil.
Or somebody really big blood into it. I have an idea, which I'm gonna do.
Oh, do we hear anything weird?
The river. It's pretty loud.
Oh dang. Cantrips. I don't have the proper cantrip.
To detect poison?
Not poison. I wanted to see if I can ignite it.
Oh. You can always just try to make a fire.
It's very humid, but sure. If we can find literally any dry wood around or kindling.
Oh, that's easy enough. I mean, you got your wanderer guy who just knows how to figure shit out on the fly, so.
Yeah.
Shady just snaps his finger and there's just a bundle of burning wood in his hand.
Yeah,
A
you
bundle.
want.
A bundle of sticks, huh?
Yeah, you wanted fire. I got some sticks for you.
Cool. Is
But-
this gonna happen?
But yes, I assume that all adventurers have like a tinderbox on them anyway, so they got like some flammable materials to make a fire with, so don't worry about it. You can get something flammable going. But as you hold the fire close to the water, even like the water you're like holding in like a bowl or a hand, like you're holding the water in some container, and you're like, I'm gonna set it on fire. The torch
Yes.
goes out before it even touches it.
Oh.
Ooh.
It's just like super watery.
Essentially, it's super water.
Heck. I was
Hmm.
half afraid that it's just gonna scare you away from the box, from the container, like the thing.
Maybe. Maybe.
Well, it could be emitting some kind of gas.
Like methane and such.
That will blow
Mhm.
up instead of it putting out the torch.
Well, it would light up on fire, but yes.
Some other gas that isn't flammable.
I like how flammable and inflammable mean the same thing.
Yep. It's a
Hmm.
linguistic problem because everyone gets it wrong.
All right then. There's clearly something weird going on with the water. I'll start climbing upstream then to the
Same.
game.
Following Shady.
Being a snake charm requires nerves of steel, and he's like, "You are perfect." It's great.
I like the one that says you need a hand.
I love snakes when they're being goofy. They're so cute. Because they can't blink. I feel that's like half the jokes. But yes, you start climbing up. It's not too far from where the road goes by the river. So it doesn't take, it takes like an hour or so to climb all the way up there. You're pretty close to the peak. There's still enough left that you could probably get like into a sizable cavern. A strange smell fills the air. It smells a little bit like the water, filled with
Oh.
metals and a strange sweetness.
That's a odd smell. Does it remind us of anything?
It reminds you
Just
of
a
old
sugar.
people.
Old people.
Oh.
The sweetness does, at least. Like, since you're a cat, you know how animals can actually smell like people are dying. They can smell like that kind of. That's basically what you're smelling with your kitty nose.
Cool. Yep.
I am Borns now. Come on. So cute.
Okay, so the river smells like Werther's originals then.
That's a lawsuit
Gotcha.
waiting to happen. You can't smell like us. That's our product.
It's copyrighted. Yes, my brand.
I'll do anything to save my brand. But yes, as you stand in the cave opening, harsher smell assaults your nose.
Ugh.
It's an assault.
All right, what kind of stench is assaulting me now?
Well, the usual, the sweetness, the metalness.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that it's also impossible to light any sort of fire in the area, so going into a
Alright.
dark cave might be a problem without magical light.
Well, I had dark vision.
Ooh. Unfortunately, your dark vision has a slight problem. You see, dark vision
it
relies
does.
on infrared light being able to go anywhere. Like, you need to see
Ah.
something, and even that doesn't seem to work. Like, there's this weird cold haze hanging in the area. You can still sort of see with dark vision, but it's like super blurry, like you got Vaseline on your eyes.
Okay. Well, this
Blurry
is
vision, huh?
Like, even
Do
regular
you
visible light's kind of hazy.
Okay. Well, this is
Just seems like a
problematic.
magical. Yeah.
Do you have any magical source of a light on you?
Well, I mean, wait, was it this adventure where we got the orb that moves around with a special code?
Drift
Or was
globe.
it the other one? Yes.
I think this is the one we got drift globe, because I don't think I would hand it out to a bunch of kobolds.
Hmm.
Well, we gotta check it. We gotta check it. 1 second.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think in the manor house you found some kind of thing.
Yes, definitely. We did have an orb, and I think I marked it, but I marked it in the chat and not here, so I'm gonna put it. In which case, I'm gonna say the magic word, which is Aziz Light.
Oh,
So now we have an orb floating around me.
This is frustrating. For some reason, Shady's character page load has
What?
been super funky for me. There we go. Now it works.
Refresh the page.
Yeah, I did it. It works now, but that was frustrating for a second. But yes, you can light your drift globe up.
Yes.
Bada bing, bada boop. Aziz
Wasn't
Light,
it?
you wrote.
Well, it's from the fifth element.
Yes. The orb lights up the area, but as I said, it looks a little bit hazy.
Huh. Even this light.
To put it bluntly, like it feels like you're starting to walk in like gelatin. The further you go, it's a light feeling. It's not like particularly inhibiting, but it's like very humid.
So it's like you're walking into an area of like higher air pressure or something.
Kinda.
So an idea came to mind. Does this? So it's kind of this water has this weird sickly smell, metallic. Would this be like what a bleeding water elemental would smell like?
Roll me knowledge arcana with advantage.
With advantage. Arcana.
You can
You
probably
feel
help
you're
a
on the
little
right
bit.
track, but you can't quite place it. A water elemental would be more. Well, there goes Como with his 21, who speculates with you as you sort of mutter out the idea.
Yeah.
So you give him the spark needed to figure it out, which is, yes, you are probably smelling something that came from the plane of water and that is probably somehow in a dying state.
Huh.
Oh.
But that doesn't explain why there's this weird haze in the air.
Well, because somebody opened like a portal and water was streaming out, and then someone's dead butt just kind of got stuck there. And now it smells.
Good job. So you're standing at the entrance of the cave. Your little drift globe is floating behind you.
Yes. Can I like nudge it forward?
If I'm correct, the drift globe just kind of follows your order, as long as it's within 60 feet of you.
Okay. Well, I would like
well,
it to move out at least like 10 feet.
There's nothing to be gained by being cautious. I'm just marching into the cave.
Well,
Heck.
the thing is, you don't have to worry too much about it. The cave is just a cave. There's no like immediate traps or anything. You do notice like some writing on the wall.
Oh.
Is it legible?
The writing mostly is like, "Go away, don't come here, drink your water and leave," that kind of stuff.
But it's dead water. It's corpse water.
Perhaps.
And we want to see a manager to file a complaint.
Shady, your blurry dark vision sees a large open space ahead of you.
Aha. I walk towards it.
Because your dark vision's so blurry, you barely notice, but you almost step over the ledge.
Ooh.
But you look down and you see you were like, hey, I'll probably see like a big pit of water here because this is where the river comes from. Because the river's like flowing right behind you. River goes straight down at this point, and then just sort of spirals towards a large hole in the center, but you can't make out where it's going because it's like way.
Wait, it's like it's going up and then pouring out of the cave?
Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
If I had a camera, I would snap a photograph of this because this is sick.
But the water does make you sick, so.
No, I mean, it's awesome.
The water is sick in all ways. The smell is very strong here, by the way. And there's a shaft of light coming from above.
Oh, heck. Is it just a hole in the ceiling?
It's just a hole in the ceiling by the looks of it.
Well, in that case, I would like to put on some cloth over my face.
You now have a cloth over your face. Because of how humid it is, it's kind of suffocating.
Better that than smelling whatever this is.
The smell reminds you of a graveyard that's recently been exhumed.
Exactly. That people are icky.
Ugh.
You're
it's...
icky.
Okay, so I try to look down.
You notice that there is a carved passageway going down. Like into the wall, there's the steps going slowly downwards.
Are they chiseled recently by any means?
They're kind of smoothed out, so probably not.
So it's been a while.
This might have been made like years ago and used for all kinds of stuff.
Okay. Oh, did we get any kind of information on how old this river is? Like, did this river
This river
appear
has been here
recent?
since people have walked around this place. But roll me geography.
Geography.
If that's a thing, I don't know if that's a thing. If not, just go nature.
Nature.
It's not a specific skill, but yes, nature is a thing.
Nothing in particular springs to mind, Shady. Nothing in particular springs to mind.
Alright.
So as you move down, you get to some small plateaus that have also been carved out into the rock. You notice some maps of the local area. There's a distinct difference about these maps that immediately springs to your mind, which is that this particular location doesn't have a river coming out of it. It's just marked as a research lab.
Interesting. Research lab.
You are also now low enough that you can see where the water is coming from.
Oh, nice.
Can you describe it in more detail?
The water is coming from a large 3-foot wide portal. Or at least you think it's a portal. The water just kind of comes out of thin air and then just starts to swirl around and then hits the wall, goes up, and then falls into the river. There's also a giant arm of some sorts, like on the other end of the portal.
Ugh.
It's been cut off cleanly at the elbow. And the water brushes up against it.
Is that the source of the smell?
You're pretty sure it has to be, since there's nothing else that the water is really like touching.
How big is it?
To put it lightly, you are probably about as tall as the arm is thick. And this is like the lower arm.
Well, there's your problem.
Someone forgot their arm.
Big old rotting arm in the water.
Now, if I was a necromancer, I would probably reanimate, make a skeleton hand out of it, and have it follow us around.
The thing. Oh, that balloon animal one is cute. Looks just like me. I hate darkness. Why do snakes have those dimples in their muzzle? They got little dimples.
It's heat sensitivity organ.
That's so
pythons.
Cool. Also, he's in an egg that's all gross. Oh. So cute, though. Aziz light. But yes. There's also some tables scattered around. Like, this is clearly someone's research place. Or was at some point. It looks all dusty and musty.
I'll look through the papers, see if there are any clues here.
Infrared sensing and snakes. That's cool. To put it bluntly, as you rummage through the paperwork, you understand some of it, but it's like pretty high fancy stuff. It's the kind of arcane stuff that you might get a headache from trying to read, because it's all about like planar alignments and that kind of stuff.
Boyga, do you want to take a look at this stuff? It's all squiggly numbers and whatnot.
You.
Yeah. There's all kinds of big words here.
It's got big words like centimeter.
You, the metric system.
So
I'd like to think that the metric system would be something that people hate.
How many feet go in a gallon?
Exactly.
But yes, you are a little bit more successful at figuring this out if you decide to give it a go. Or you would be. Because you have a formal magical education in that major of yours.
So what would I use then? Just Arcana?
Yep. Your Arcana game is strong today.
Well, I'm good at something at least.
So this guy was clearly trying to like create a way to make portals that stay around longer and require less effort to conjure up, because it turns out that if you make a portal filled with water like in the middle of someone's town, you can really fuck up everyone's day.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And
But
so they
yes,
closed the portal on some monster and they cut off their head or something.
there's no notes as to this event. You can't find anything that refers to a giant arm. You do find some skeletons of like ex-mages.
Oh,
Hmm.
do they have anything useful?
They've got robes. And they've
Well,
got like
dusty
strange
robes are
measuring tools and
disgusting.
like drawing tools on them. Nothing
So,
special.
Anything that looks particularly valuable to the mage?
Well, they do have some tools that look pretty expensive. They're made out of like gold, rust-free and all that stuff.
Rust
um,
free?
Because they're made out of gold. Gold doesn't rust.
Well, yes, because gold doesn't rust. Yeah,
And they're working with a lot of water, so
yeah, that makes sense.
what does the arm look like?
the arm is green and scaled and has its fingers, like they end at the first joint of the finger, and it just turns into this large, sharp claw.
Hmm.
Heck,
It's also been half torn open because of years of water just rushing along it.
is it like a dragon arm or something?
Oh,
It might be,
so
but it's very difficult to say with what you have. It doesn't look like a dragon. It looks more like something of a humanoid.
giant humanoid. So can we tell how long this thing has been here? Like,
For a while, years.
You try to give it a look, but as you pay close attention, roll me a perception check.
just wondering if it's decayed or anything.
Well, yes, it is decayed.
Because you squint your eyes a little bit, just a little squint, and you can't help but notice that every single like shred of scales that is washed away like regrows a few seconds later.
What? So it's like
Ah,
regenerating?
Yeah.
Oh, heck.
great, great.
Now this wouldn't make sense, but Como, your character's smart enough to know that there's things called methods. There's things that will regenerate when they contact water. It's entirely plausible this thing is just, you know, regenerating from the same thing that's damaging it.
Oh,
hmm,
wow.
okay, okay. Can we push it away from the water?
It's a little too big for that. For us to just push it. We could probably use some help with this.
Well, if you try to roll it, it would be easy enough.
Yeah,
Oh, that's fair enough. In which case, there's three of us.
3?
3.
The bird.
Oh yeah.
It's like
Oh,
nobody
yeah.
notices you. Just like, oh, we forgot you were here.
All right,
And
neat.
she's like deeply insulted.
Mist is used to it. Yeah, Mist can help out. Mist is a burly lady. She can push.
She's pushing.
Okay.
Everyone roll me a strength check.
Oh, heck.
Oh,
What?
Well, you give it a roll and a push and a shove, and the arm just goes plick and rolls onto its side, and is no longer touching the water now.
Heck.
oof. Nice. Okay, I'll look. Can I look through the portal?
If you look at the
No,
portal,
because
it
there's
is
like
almost
10
exclusively
billion
water
tons
rushing
of
out.
water. There's tons of water rushing out. If you stick your face in there, it's just gonna get like melted off immediately by the pressure.
It sure is a lot of water coming out of that thing, is what you can see. Roll me a perception check to see if you can look past it a bit.
All right. Mhm.
It's probably possible to press one of the tools of these guys, like a little box with a glass bottom, so you can see through the water without like the surface distortions and such.
So you look through
Hmm.
the portal as best you can, giving your eyes the finest squint you ever did.
That's racist.
Behind the portal is what seems to be a giant nest of some sorts.
Oh, heck.
Ah,
At least you think it's a nest. It's like all watery.
well, that's probably not good. Do any of my special sites detect anything? Detect magic, relics, weapons?
Detect magic picks up that it sure is a magical weapon. A magical portal, I mean. It doesn't detect any like Like you detect some small weapons around the place, but it's pretty clear these guys are not like fighters carrying large amounts of ornaments with them.
All right. And do I detect anything beyond the portal?
You try to shift your senses beyond the portal, and
Hmm.
as you do so, Como, how close are you to Shady at this point?
We just pushed the arm away, so probably standing there with a bird a few feet away.
Shady falls over the
Maybe.
instant he tries to push his senses through the portal.
Oh, heck.
Ooh.
We gotta grab him before he gets, like,
You and
carried away
Mist
by the
both
water.
sort of grab him together, like you're just under him. And she's like, "What the hell? What's going on?"
Yeah.
It's probably all this smell. Let's get him out to the fresh air.
On the other hand, however, Shady's now on the other side of the portal and he's blinking around a bit. It's mostly a barren wasteland. Like this is, well, wasteland is a weird way to put it, but you're like underwater, very far.
Hmm.
And luckily, your magic sense is not exposed to pressure. What it does pick up, however, is that there is a large chest over in the corner containing something of interest.
Oh, well, I'll have a look-see.
Your sense flies closer into the chest and finds a large tube-like object. It seems to be containing
Oh.
something, but you can sense like some powerful energy coming out.
Wait, where is this?
In the chest,
Inside the
in
portal.
the cave,
In the
in
cave.
the nest,
Ah, on the other side of right.
the portal.
Hmm. I don't have any. I don't have hands. I'm guessing.
No, you're just a floating sensor.
Uh, okay, I'll take a peek at the nest then.
The nest looked like it's been abandoned for years. It's overgrown with all kinds of weeds and stuff.
Ah, well, that's better. Hmm. Can I see anything moving?
Nope.
Okay, okay. And this is a cave.
Yes. It's a
It's
small
an
cave. Like
underwater
it's
cave.
cover. It's cover from in the water, whatever that means.
Hmm. Can I see any openings?
There is a large opening, yes, directly to the left of the portal.
Okay, I'll have a look-see.
You take a look and you see a large underwater landscape ahead of you. There's
Ooh.
aquatic plants all over the place and lots of, well, not many fish. You notice that the few things that come by kind of move around quickly. Clearly not happy with this portal that's here.
Hmm. Okay. Do I see any large creatures anywhere?
Nope. Nothing
Okay.
within your
Well,
sensing range.
okay. Right. I'll try to pull myself back in.
You go back to the portal, and once you plop through, your body snaps back into action. So,
Woo-ha. All right. Okay. There's a cave on the other side of this thing. There's a treasure chest there, but I don't know how we could get it.
mm-hmm.
Hmm. There aren't any like diving suits or anything here.
Well,
I don't think so.
there are
But
diving
let's
suits,
see
but they're
here,
not like
okay.
built for you. They don't have tail holes.
Aw.
Just put it
Hmm.
into one of the pants. It's harder for me to do. I can sit on this thing. Like, it's a little bit too thick to just hide with. A cat's tail is probably fine.
Well, Cat still is pretty nimble. He could just wrap it around his waist or something.
Is it possible, by the way, to make armor out of that regenerating, like, skin?
It only regenerates when it's in contact with water.
Yeah, I'm gonna carry a water sprinkler with me.
I guess you could if you could somehow transport enough of it back.
Just
Well, I mean, technically it's pretty decomposed, but the layer of scales is intact, so at the very
No, like
least we
much
can,
of it is
like,
intact. Like there's a clean cut near the elbow, but that's like it. Like the rest looks perfectly fine.
does it have any sort of other properties aside from just regenerating from water?
It glistens nicely.
I can probably make a cloak out of this. That would be neat.
Hmm.
Also, a quick thing about this arm is that because you have a fancy mage on your team who probably knows this kind of stuff,
Yes.
you figure that the reason the water was basically putting torches out is because this creature was bleeding aquatic elemental energy into the water, so
Hmm.
creating
Oh.
sort of an anti-fire field around it.
Anti-fire field.
Yep.
So I would imagine this thing is
Ooh.
very good against fire.
It's a very water heavy thing, so yes.
Nice.
Makes really good fire resistant armor or
Yeah.
something out of
Well,
it.
not fire
Uh, uh,
resistance, more like fire ceases to exist near it to a certain degree.
So
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
if you wrap yourself entirely in it, you'll be resistant. You won't be affected by fire much. That would be neat. Is there enough for both of us or three of us? I
It's a
guess.
pretty big arm.
Okay then, yeah. What about the claws? I mean, don't let anything go to waste. You know.
Considering your... okay, so let me see. So a
You
figure
could
is
probably
around one
use the
third.
claws as a shield or hat.
So let me see. How long would the claw be? The claw would be like... The claw is basically almost the size of you. And it's pretty thick, so no. You can't do much with this, unless you like only take the tip off.
Mm.
We could make them into into tower shields.
Theoretically, yes.
Well, I mean, there's this guy. 1 second, where is he?
Snick. I guess Hav will exist, yes. But no one ever said Hav was realistic.
Well, he's gonna hit you with a dragon tooth.
Don't argue. Don't argue with the man with the tooth. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could use one of the claws for that.
Like a giant club. Well, maybe if we have the strength for it later on, then yes, that would work.
You need a higher strength score, though.
Yeah,
Else it's just gonna flop around.
I'm not very strong, yes.
Oh yeah.
So, in which case, just the cloaks, I suppose.
Hmm.
Okay. How do you intend
Fifth
to get this?
scale cloaks.
How do you get this stuff to someone who can use it?
Well, let's see. We do have the horses, and let me check if I still have the thing.
Hmm. Okay. So are we skinning this arm then?
Yes, but for skinning, I think I still have the face dagger.
Didn't you? Yeah, you plunged it into the guy. What happened with it then?
Blammo?
I don't recall completely what happened, but I do know that you stabbed the big guy with it, and then it went woo 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 woo.
So, do I have it, or do I not have it anymore? Because that would be important.
I don't know.
So, should I roll for it? Maybe I just broke it off or something.
Roll for it. D20
What
high
did I
or
roll?
low. Give it your shot.
Low, because I've been rolling low today. Oh. Well, yeah, goodbye,
You've
dagger.
been rolling high. No, yeah. So it's no longer with you. No.
Yeah, let me remove that.
Yep. Face dagger went blammo.
Yep.
Blammo with
Now,
the
considering how long it's been here, it's probably relatively easy to just peel off or to use water.
Hmm. All right. So, what kind of tools were there around here in the cave?
Tools wise, you've got things like scribing tools for making marks and ritual circles on the ground.
Hmm.
There are some knives for like cutting ingredients up, and probably scraping scales off slices of skin.
But probably nothing this big.
Yeah, the scales are pretty big though, so to some extent you could probably just wrap your fingers around it and pull it off individually.
Hmm. Well, I can just call up a suitably large blade and start cutting.
It's just funny. It's like Shady has this little helpers in the other dimension, and it's like, here's an order from boss, and it's a biggest freaking fish knife that he can think of.
Yeah, big old skinning knife.
Give me a second.
Oh yeah, missed. Give us a hand here. We are going to skin this arm.
But yes, I will allow that since a fishing knife is technically a weapon.
Fishing knife, skinning knife. And I'm going to have Mist help me with this.
Mist has many swords.
Does Mist have the same powers basically as Shady?
Similar powers.
How similar? And what exactly does that entail?
She's more like she's a battle mage, essentially. A bit more spell heavy than Shady, actually. But she does like hitting things more than anything.
Yep. Okay, let's start peeling this thing. I've got big old nasty orange.
Nasty orange. Roll me a survival check on this.
Survival.
With advantage, because you've got so much to work with.
Well.
Oof. Yeah, you managed to get just about all of it scraped right off. Because it's not too difficult.
Nice.
Nice.
You now have a big heap of, like, scales.
Nice.
And a large decomposing arm.
And can we... How many nails are there?
It has 3 big claws and 1 small dew claw. Which looks like a thumb.
We could probably try and pry those off as well.
They're like the size of people, though. They're kind of hard to take with you.
Well, we could have the horses drag them behind us.
Fair enough.
Just rip everything useful out of this thing.
Jeez. Well, it's not like he came back for his arm.
Oh yeah. On that, does it have bones or cartilage?
That was probably rotten, aside from the skin, which was regenerating from water.
I don't know what it would have, because I don't know aquatic anatomy too well.
It's just pull everything useful from this thing. Tendons, bones, what?
It does have large bones, we'll just say that.
Just reduce this thing to its component parts.
Yep, you now have bones.
Yep, all kinds
It'll
of...
probably take a couple trips to actually deliver this to anyone.
This is like, these bones are pretty, like, big.
Yeah.
Yep, we have all kinds of crafting materials now.
Especially because, you know, a hand is filled with many bones.
Let's give him a hand.
Exciting.
More the opposite. But,
This troll is probably going to be like weirded out. It's like, hey, we found a corpse and we've literally picked it apart and here's stuff.
Indeed.
Yep, well, we are adventurers.
You are, apparently. With all this bone picking you're doing.
Okay. Now we have a mound of stuff.
Of bones, scales, meat, claws.
Yeah. Too bad we don't have a cart, and we have to haul this stuff down the mountain. No, well, not entirely. Oh, yeah, I'll have ride a Scaly Gilliman up here and have him start hauling stuff out.
Okay.
my spider climbing horse.
That's fair enough. Okay. So what's the whole plan here?
Let's haul this stuff out of the cave, and like, is there how many how well trafficked is this road here?
Well, trafficked enough that if you wait a day or two, someone might eventually come by.
Like you could grab a caravan and like, is this the town of some size over here?
That is a pretty sizable town, yes.
Yes, we could probably find some crafters over there.
Better than Nistral, at least.
Yeah.
Better than the Nistral, but probably a little worse than Ubrick.
Yeah, the Nistral's a pretty small town. Doesn't have like the finest crafters. You want a bigger town for that because you cut more space.
But at the very least, we can rent out more horses to actually, or maybe even a cart to ferry this stuff over.
So as you wait, the smell gets less near the water. Like eventually the water's just like clean. It doesn't take too long.
Yeah.
You wait for a whopping 2 days.
Whoa. Actually, how long it take to get back to Nistral?
To get back to Nistral will be like a day's travel.
Yeah, maybe.
So probably can make the trip to and back.
Yeah, maybe we go
And
to
come back with a
Mistral
cart.
and get a
Okay.
cart and
You go to
Yeah.
Nistral then. I assume one of you, Mist, stays behind to watch the loot.
Yeah, the mist
Yeah.
is gonna sit on the pile of dead meat and just kind of hiss at everybody who comes along.
The bird hisses.
maybe we kind of not leave the pile of stuff like right next to the road, maybe a little bit to the side, kind of hidden.
Hidden under some bushes.
Mm. While we go to Mistral to get a cart or wagon or something.
Excellent. So yes, you go out, you get your cart, get a couple of wagons. Takes around, well, let's say 10 gold pieces, and someone will come with you to take the carts and all back afterwards.
Nice.
Even
Alright.
comes with some free cards.
I'm gonna fork out for this time, cause Shady paid last time, which
Okay.
means I'm down to, there you go,
Alrighty.
186 pieces. I don't know where I'm carrying this much gold, but yeah.
Yep,
Also, Safi, look at this.
I am looking.
Mm.
The peasant railgun.
Oh yeah, that thing.
The suspension of disbelief and a lot of.
And
What?
200 peasants.
I remember the bucket thing, isn't it? Oh, that's so great. That's what you get with initiative. You get weird shit happening. Also, don't put knots in your boy. Don't tie your boy in a knot. That's mean. It's bully.
Creating a peasant railgun. Number one, hire a ton of peasants. Let's just say that is 2,280. Line them up inside in a single file. This will form a chain of peasants 2 miles long. It would have been 4 miles back in my day, but it's 2 miles now. Point two, buy a ladder. Just buy a standard 10-foot ladder. Disassemble the ladder into a bunch of rungs and a pair of mighty 10-foot pole wooden poles. Hand a pole to a peasant at the back of the line. First round of combat. Peasants at the front of the line readies an action to throw the pole at the enemy. Every peasant behind him readies an action to hand the pole to the peasant in front of him. Next round, peasants fire off their readied actions, passing the pole 2 miles down the line and hurtling it in 6 seconds or less. Pole accelerates to the speed of 1,188 miles per hour, or Mach 1.5 in dry air at 20 degrees Celsius or 68 Fahrenheit at sea level of our planet. Peasant railgun can be reloaded and fired in less than 12 seconds. So, yes, peasant railgun.
I love it when people just take a game system and are like, let's just mess it up.
Of course, because the standard action is 6 seconds, and they all go in an order, and they all roll the same initiative because they're just peasants. And then they just pass the thing in 6 seconds flat, and it's just.
They just passed the thing in 6 seconds flat.
Yes.
But yes, you have your
Our
point.
mage was a dumbass and decided to launch an alchemical flask from set railgun and into the heart of the enemy forces. It blew up and killed a bunch of enemies. Our DM got back at us by making it tear a big-ass hole in time-space continuum. The same mage decides to approach the hole, and then when he touches it, it blasts him across the fucking map and vaporizes some more enemy troops. Our mass was 3.6 kilograms, or 8 pounds. Our speed was 536 meters per second, or 1,200 miles an hour. The final kinetic energy was 520,005 joules. This is similar to 125 grams of TNT or half a stick of dynamite. It's not exactly a weapon of mind-blowing destruction. The map breaks it before the GM has to. It gets worse when one considers drag. That would tear the projectile apart into a flaming swarm of splinters before it reached the end of your present chain. The only way this thing works if your GM allows the real-world physics to translate into game. Your GM doesn't actually know real-world physics.
I just love the idea that they're passing this wooden rod so fast that it just evaporates.
Well, I mean, it's within the rules. It's a loophole of the logic of the world.
I can't. It's great. It reminds me of the like several mile wide super damaging attack. Where everyone gets pushed out the circle and takes damage because it's so big it just pushes people super far.
Here's another game-breaking thing. 15 million gold a day. Actually, I think, like, in character, we're traveling on a cart, and as we're traveling, I'm reading, like, this little book that I bought that is, like, ridiculous stories or whatever. Method. Point 1. Cast a wall of iron, creating a wall of 55 feet by 5 feet by 2 inches of iron. The step costs 5 gold pieces in material components. Cast Fabricate, converting 11 cubic feet per cast into masterwork daggers. With 14 ranks in craft or weaponsmithing and a wizard's crazy intelligence, you can't fail. Repeat until only 1 or 2 cubic feet of iron remains. This consumes your 5th level slots for the day and takes 4.5 minutes. The density of iron is 499 pounds per cubic foot. Thus, 44 cubic feet of iron weighs 21,604 pounds. A dagger weighs 1 pound. Thus, we create 21,604 masterwork daggers, which sell for 151 gold piece each. That's 3,262,204 gold pieces.
Is this Skyrim's
at level
economy?
11. Yes.
Because in Skyrim there's also lots of iron daggers going around, I've heard.
Yes, but that's just crafting because it's an item that requires the least effort and material to craft.
In a good game, it would also be not worth anything, and would like give you 0 experience. But
well, I mean, you make daggers, and big swords are just larger daggers. The spell description reads: you convert material of one sort into a product that is of the same material. Therefore, should any DM give you grief about singularity, connect each dagger by a thin thread of metal that can easily be clipped or removed after creation, thus giving you the countless daggers you are looking for. Folding the line of daggers may help conserve space for the plethora to be. So you just create out of noise. You just cast the thing, snap your fingers, and a wall of metal just transforms into like a pile. It's thousands upon thousands of daggers.
Yeah, that's just kind of assumes you can just sell those daggers.
Rope trick bunker of doom. You touch rope trick. You touch a length of rope up to 60 feet
I like at
long.
this
One
point
end
the
of the
fact that
rope.
people sitting next to you are like, what the hell are these wizards doing?
I don't know. It's just a silly book about wizards of the past. I didn't invent this stuff. I'm
It's
just
it's
reading
it's
it
it's
out
like
because
it's like this book is what people read when they're like, why the old world died is because they did shit like this.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's probably
Yeah,
an
that's
Elven,
just
which is why I can read it too. It's probably like a children's
It's like
book.
elves laughing at humans, being like, look at these silly goobers.
It was probably like really practical or impractical stuff. It's just like a Elven children's book, but it's like ridiculous
There were so many
implications.
iron daggers, people wiped their butts with them.
Yeah,
With daggers.
some people say there's still like dagger rains and dagger storms and in there.
But yes, we're talking
Uh,
about a rope trick.
yes, one end of the rope then rises into the air until the whole rope hangs perpendicular to the ground. At the upper end of the rope, an invisible entrance opens to an extra dimensional space that lasts until the spell ends. The extra dimensional space can be reached by climbing to the top of the rope. The space can hold as many as 8 medium or smaller creatures. The rope can be pulled into the space, making the rope disappear from view outside the space. Attacks and spells cannot pass through the entrance into or out of the extra dimensional space, but those inside can see out of it as though a 3 by 5 foot window centered on the rope. Anything inside the extra dimensional space drops out when the spell ends. Why is this a big deal? The spell creates a 3 foot by 5 foot extra dimensional space centered on the rope, so it can be used to bypass thin doors and walls. The bigger use of the spell is to create impenetrable rest areas that require neither guards nor sleeping shifts, and which allow for parties to stop, prepare, and plan, even in the middle of the enemy's invincible Doom Fortress. The extra dimensional space holds 8 people by default and lasts long enough for a full night's sleep at 8th level. Or 5th level with extend spell feat to use up a 3rd level spell slot. Meaning the only difference between this and the Magnificent Mansion is that this doesn't have butlers or food by default, and that's a 2nd level spell. Why this might not work? The spell creates a 3.5 doorway into extra dimensional space. Read that again. Your 8 people are all hanging from the rope in outer space with nowhere to get off and lounge. However, the spell states that you can pull the rope up into the space and the door is closable, so they will not simply fall out. No fun allowed. Anything that can see invisible will see the dimensional window you have opened. The DM will likely have an ambush waiting for you, or if they have had enough of your bullshit, set up an ambush and cast the spell. Wait, this is not intentional? Our party has been using rope trick as shelter ever since we first started playing. Well, yeah.
Heck. Rope trick is nice.
What? Arsplomancer.
Oh my god.
Wow, this is from 3.5, so it's really an old book.
This is
Dungeon and Dragons 3.x has some pretty crazy builds if you dig into the right source books, and in some cases Dragon magazines. Obviously, this build isn't as powerful as the Omnipotent Pun, which I'm going to read probably in a few moments. And it might not be even finished on paper, yet it is perhaps even more funny. The idea is to have the character to use escape artist skill to murder men, or any sufficiently large foe with a butt.
With a butt?
Wow. With a butt, yes, in a spectacular fashion, primarily by crawling. Wow, this is disgusting.
What?
This is disgusting. You crawl into a giant creature through its butt,
And then...
resulting in not only the victim exploding, but onlookers becoming fanatical followers of the wondrous display. We almost wish we were joking. The exact particulars of the build are not set in stone, but there are the core requirements: a small race and/or access to the altar self spell to become one. Otherwise, you'd have hell of a time fitting into the average medium's creature's asshole. 5 levels in the prestige class exemplar. Skill mastery, escape artist. Skill artistry, escape artist. A somewhat generous interpretation of the exemplar's 5-level class feature, the persuasive performance, assuming you want to use the follower portion and not just kill people with explosions.
I see where this is going.
A way to grow, yes. For example, the spell Righteous Might, the psionic power expansion, or any magic item charged with the use of an enlarged person. A way to get your escape artist skill bonus really high for different stackable boosts, feats, skill ranks, magical items, class abilities. A way to ensure that your expansion is sufficient to kill. Setup, a victim. people within 30 feet willing to watch.
Willing to watch.
Yes, according to the Epic level handbook, an escape artist check of 80 is the DC for getting through a space when one's head shouldn't even be able to fit.
Oh my god.
This can be as small as 2 inches square or medium-sized creatures. Half this limit for each size category less than medium size. Double it for each size category greater than medium size. If the space is long, such as in the chimney, multiple checks may be called for. The Arsplomancer uses this DC to rapidly crawl through the victim's butt. The skill master allows the Arsplomancer to take 10 on his skill check. Persuasive performance allows the Arsplomancer to also make this escape artist check act as a diplomacy check for improving attitudes as long as the onlookers are within 30 feet. A sufficiently high diplomacy check is able to turn onlookers into fanatics. The difficulty varies depending on the starting attitude, thus turning ordinary people into sadly temporarily devoted disciples of this mighty Superman who can leap into assholes. Once the Arsplomancer is inside the victim, he can activate his size-changing power in order to grow, exploding the victim from within. In order for this to work, the Arsplomancer needs to pass a DC to burst through the victim. To determine if you are successful, you're required to perform a strength check. The DC is calculated by reducing the damage by the hardness of the material. In this case, in the case of leather, this is 2. And if any damage remains, deducted it from the object's hit points. 5 per inch of thickness in the case of leather. Because flesh is weaker than leather, the DC for the flesh would be lower than that. Although since the victim already has actual hit points, it would be better to use that than the formula based on how to determine leather's hit points.
Yep. I see why.
No fun allowed. As said before, this requires a generous interpretation of the persuasive performance class feature, specifically what constitutes as non-threatening. Remember, crawling into someone's butt, if you have access to growing, allows you to slay him or her, and even if you didn't have this ability, might look painful for the victim. One could make case that non-threatening might require you to already be in neutral or perhaps positive terms with the observer, and for the observer to be on such terms with the victim that they either don't care if the victim is injured or killed, or perhaps even want the victim injured or killed. And of course, it is possible to view the non-threatening requirement in an even more restrictive light than that. Not that any of this would stop you from exploding enemies, just that those around it wouldn't cheer you on for it. It's unlikely that the victim will just sit there as you try to get into their butt, unless they are paralyzed somehow, perhaps even too surprised. If they're capable of moving and try to resist, it would be reasonable for the skill check to be even higher, require a grapple skill check in addition to the escape artist one. 5e Unearthed Arcana. With the release of Mystic from the Unearthed Arcana, there is now a way of performing this in 5e with a fun DM. Take Aura the Immortal and the Psychic Disciples Diminution and Giant Growth. Use Diminution's microscopic form in order to become smaller than Tiny. Crawl up the target's butt, which can be done with squeezing. Then while inside the target, use Giant's Growth Giant Form in order to go from smaller than Tiny to huge in the space of a second. This will either kill the target, or if the target has many hit points, expand their butt to wider than a house.
What the? What is this doing on my Christian stream?
Look, it's a two-day trip, and I bought this stupid book. I'm actually going to subtract like 5 gold pieces for this because this is
5 gold
amusing.
pieces for an ancient book about butts.
About butt jokes, yes. It's an elven. It's some kind of not safe for work elven children's book. I don't know.
By the way, here's
It's
like
ridiculous.
a list of like epic stuff's pretty cool. I think they rolled epic into like skill cool shit in the Pathfinder, which is nice.
Oh wow. Okay. Pun is the god of magicry. The ultimate example of breaking the system in 3.5. Do you know this one?
I've heard of this one, and I've also heard that it technically doesn't work.
Pan was an ECL 6 and now is an ECL 1 Cobalt character built that can cast every spell and psionic power at will, has infinite stats and therefore infinite hit points, and has a divine rank of 30.
He is the mightiest kobold!
Pan can ascend at level 1. Wow. This is ridiculous. No fun allowed. Divine Minion is a template for NPCs. They were never intended to be used by players, and as such, a DM will spot you miles away attempting this, not mentioning that this is the Malharal, the divine minion that carries the fast wind shape power. Good luck explaining where that came from to the DM and get them to allow it. Even if they do, you can bet the in-game gods will need to be convinced by Pon Pon why they should let him become a demigod of loopholes. Assuming they can read and pay attention to Pon Pon's mind, you will want to heavily invest in wards to, that stop anything from, not from the material plane, from smiting your more ways than dead. Saruk are Forgotten Realm exclusive creatures. A custom setting might not have them, but good luck summoning something from another setting that your character doesn't know of. Additionally, the ability specifically states that it only works on skilled ones native to Toriel, which any sane DM will interpret as you must have been born there. So if you aren't in the Forgotten Realms setting already, manipulate form can't affect you. And if you are here, Mistra, the goddess of magic who can remove anyone's ability to use magic, will
While this is
protect the
going
realm
on,
from
like the person who's driving the car is like vomiting after the whole butt exploding story.
butt explosions. I mean, this
and one of the guards is like, "What the hell is Pun Pun? What is this god?"
It's a kobold that is a god. It's an ancient story about a mythical hero. Additionally, the build makes assumption that Pazuzu, when summoned, will cooperate with the puny kobold who just summoned him and not say "fuck you" on Pazuzu before killing Pon Pon and going on a rampage. By the rules, familiar granted feats can account towards the requirements for the class. If they did, Viper must be in arm's reach at all times, or you would lose the alertness feat and lose access to all levels of Master of Many Forms as you no longer qualify for them. Claims that interpreting manipulate form to work off of the natural stats close to exploit are false, since by the example list, manipulate form can increase size category, which does change natural strength. Although it's a size bonus when changed by a spell, if it is permanent, it's a true change. The new loop is Familiar increases Pon Pon's size. Pon Pon raises Familiar strength to his own new natural strength. Familiar decreases Pon Pon's size. Familiar raises Pon Pon's strength. Repeat to gain infinite strength. This also works for Constitution. And the other stats are trickier. Wow.
Pun Pun can punch everything.
Then again, if you try to build Pon Pon in an actual game, your DM might actually peen you Mountain Dew.
I would just sit there and see like all these guys going like, what the fuck? I see why the world has ended. If they explode people thrown the butt. What weapons they have developed back in those days? Oh, I love how there's an FAQ on the D&D wiki page. It's like, why would anyone ever play Pun Pun? I have no clue. Is the answer.
Because they want to break the game. In the 5th edition D&D, it is perfectly within the rules as written to create a clone army, an infinite number of simulacra of yourself.
Oh, no.
Learn the spells Wish and Simulacrum. Get hold of the materials to cast Simulacrum on yourself once. Enough snow or ice to make an identically sized copy of yourself, a strand of your hair, fingernail or similar, and 1,500 gold pieces worth of powdered ruby. These can easily be obtained with the Wish spell, since it can spontaneously create items worth up to 25,000 gold pieces. Just remember to rest afterwards to regain your use of Wish if you obtain the materials this way. Never do this. Casting Wish for anything except duplicating a spell has a 1 out of 3 chance of burning the ability out of you forever.
Yeah,
That is why you have Simulacra. That's why you have your Simulacra cast Wish for you. Obtain the ingredients some other way. Create a simulacrum of yourself. This is an exact copy of yourself under your control. It has half of your health, is made from ice, and knows every spell that you do, including Wish. It can't regain spell slots, so it can only cast Wish once, but that's all you need. One of the uses of Wish is to duplicate the effects of any spell at all of level 8 or below, but with no material requirements and no cast time aside from that required to use Wish. 1 action. Order your Simulacrum to use its Wish to duplicate the effects of Simulacrum with you as its target. This will create another Simulacrum of you, which also has the spell Wish learned and available to cast. Repeat the above order with your new Simulacrum. This will create another Simulacrum of you, which again has Wish. Rinse and repeat. Each Simulacrum takes 6 seconds to produce, the length of 1 action, and is a perfect clone of you in terms of stats, skills, etc. with half of your health. This means they have access to every spell and spell slot that you do, at the time of wish casting. Simulacra cannot replenish spells, so they can't regain the 9th level slot used to continue the chain of clones, and once they have used all their spell slots, they can no longer cast spells. However, since they have access to every spell slot you possess and require just 6 seconds to replace, any opponent can easily be defeated by an army of high-level casters. Given 24 hours to prepare, you can produce 14,400 clones capable of casting, for example, 14,400 disintegrates at once for 144,000 D6 plus 576,000 damage in one round. The Tarask ain't got shit.
So that's sitting there giggling. Shady by now has probably left the cart and has started helping loading in some of the things. Unless he just likes to sit around a bunch.
No. I'm following them in their footsteps, flipping through the book, and I'm reading this as they do all the heavy lifting.
You get some stern looks from Mist, who's like, what the hell? But sure.
I don't know. This is an entertaining book. Blade Cascade is a 4th edition Dungeons & Dragons 15-level ranger daily power. Before it was errated into sensibility, the ability allowed a 2-weapon ranger to make a theoretically infinite number of alternating attacks, and was especially potent when combined with other abilities that allowed rerolls of attacks to avoid missing. Kinshira's Cascadero Ratata Orca Slayer was designed around the abuse of this ability, which proved extremely powerful. In its most optimized form, a Fey Warlock with Blade Cascade could, with the help of a battle captain, annihilate an entire enemy army in one round, teleporting every time she ran out of adjacent targets. Unfortunately for Kinshira, after a month or so, Wizards of the Coast released errata that capped the number of attacks that could be made at 5, rendering the ability significantly less powerful, and forcing Kinshira to bring an Orbizard along if he wanted to beat the shit out of Orcus without fear of any retaliatory strikes. Oh my god, I can't pronounce half of these words.
How does this work?
Yes.
Let me check what this action is. You must be willing to melee weapons or more actions.
You must be wielding
Until
2
you
melee
miss.
weapons.
Oh, that's
until
how
you
it
miss.
works.
Yeah,
So
that's how I've been
provided you-
doing it. Yeah. That's how that's what I've been trying to pull with all those previous games with the claw attacks and cleave, greater cleave, and what was it? I forgot. And power attack. There you go.
Yeah, but those attacks they only work once per target. So at the very least, and they also need to stand next to you. So there's some capping.
Yeah, but this is where the misty step ring comes in.
Hehehe. It's all loaded up now, though. The whole carts are full, filled with scales.
Wrestle Baba is a barbarian build created on 8chan that proves the combat maneuver system is a valuable build option for Pathfinder barbarians. A level 20 barbarian using this build has an 81% chance to wrestle the Tarask and win within 2 rounds. This build requires only 3 feats and 1 item that you would probably not get normally: Unarmed Strike, Improved Grapple, Greater Grapple, and Grapple Gauntlets. It uses the Brutal Pugilist chain of class features in exchange for other shit class features such as Trap Sense. Everything else is fully functional with normal barbarian progression. Or Bloodline from Eldritch Heritage is hilariously powerful in all barbarian situations. This build is therefore well within the reach of most barbarians. It's not a min-max build. There are plenty of unspent feats and class features that are relevant for the purposes of grappling, and most of the abilities are useful for purposes other than grappling. Oof. How does this play out? Barbarian runs up and initiates a grapple using Strength Surge with a 95% chance to succeed.
My God.
The Tarask is now gains the grappled condition and loses for Dexterity. Barbarian now gains a +5 bonus to CMB to maintain grapple, but loses no Dex because of improved Savage Grapple. The Tarask now has CMB 57 and CMD 64.
Como, your book is getting
Yes.
shot at.
Oh, why?
Because you're reading too much, and everyone's like, help out.
Oh,
They've already loaded
I
everything in the
paid
cart,
for
but they're
this.
still like, you need to help out.
fine. Did it explode? Did you destroy my book? Was it not fun? You can't say it wasn't
Did we
fun.
not have fun?
I mean, the amount of vomiting was bearable. It was within acceptable parameters. Did you not enjoy this?
Were you not
Jeez.
entertained?
Are you not into? Yes. Are you not entertained? Tough crowd. Fine. I'm gonna pull the scales. Yes. I'm gonna put them in the cart.
Yeah, the cart's all loaded up. You're ready to go.
Really though, if we start burning books, we're now no better than the people who blew up the world anyway. Tough crowd.
I'm glad you stopped because there's some bold text later down the line
Yes.
that kind of might insult some people. Heck, I don't even know, man.
I'm gonna
Like,
be reading these
the
later
idea
on.
of
I'm gonna buy a second copy of this book.
the idea of binding, of just grappling at your ass is the part that gets me. But yes, serious talk.
Can you imagine Tarask is probably very surprised.
Jurassic is very kinky.
Tarask gets grappled by like the tip of the pinky and just gets slammed into the ground.
I'm actually picturing that as like Mario throwing around Bowser with his by his
Yeah,
Because
the
it's by the
tail.
tail. Goodbye, Terrasque.
So long, gay Bowser.
Well,
Yes.
one last thing for now. No fun allowed section. Note that this build relies on the assumption that the Tarask tries escaping through grapple rules only. Assuming that you're not using magic unbreakable rope or something similar that the GM will never give you access to, the Tarask can simply burst the ropes with a strength check, which it can auto-pass with most any mundane rope. So there you go. The Barbarian... Yeah. I'm going to read this later.
I just love it when people just make these builds and they just make a dice check and it's like, what?
Oh wow! And then he has sex with the Tarask. Holy shit! Also, this is funny. Yes. This is cute actually. This is kind of cute. Anyway, people hated my reading so much that they destroyed my book, and I'm just the mage probably just
That was
zoned
an historical artifact.
out. Yes.
Written by the
And
ancient
I'm
elves, how to fuck a Trask.
What the fuck, Tarask? Oh my god. And then he leaves the thing in the middle of the village. Oh my god. I want to try the goddamn peasant railgun though. I'm gonna try to find a way to do this.
Like everyone just sort of follows you along and they're like, what are we doing? And then they suddenly have this
we
molten
saved a
plasma
few
in their
villages.
hands.
Well, I mean, we can probably enchant it so it doesn't do that. It's like
I like
here.
how you want to get a specifically enchanted part of a ladder so that it doesn't shatter.
No, I'm not gonna be using a ladder. I'm gonna be using a metal like bearing, a small metal thing, as opposed to a 10-foot pole.
I would like to.
I'm gonna try this for real. Like I'm gonna be reading books and I'm gonna try to find it out. Because I mean, we're gonna be fighting those giant titans. We're gonna hunt it with a freaking railgun.
To be fair, that'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. Yes. I'm gonna try to find a way. It's probably not gonna work.
Also,
but,
I think to
you
note,
know.
as you guys are hanging about and just having some fun times,
Yes.
is that you do actually along the way catch the cart with the device on it that the watchmen are taking care of.
Nice. Are these watchmen like dripping with
No,
whatever
they look pretty
goof?
normal. I mean, they're
Do
not
they
wearing, like, their
recognize
helmets.
us?
They're not like hiding themselves or anything, just enjoying the weather.
Well, they probably have like death orders for us.
Why would they?
And considering the size of the claws and like scales that we're carrying in the cart, they just kind of give us the stink eye and do nothing because we just killed this thing. We can totally say, you know, we killed this thing. This is the only thing that remains, so we just kind of pulled together what we could, make us some
But
coats
if
out of
anything,
it.
will embolden them to take down the homunculus that they already don't like.
One sec. Where's that goddamn picture?
Oh.
Where's the
Oh.
full size of this? Oh, there you go. basically they see us, and it's like they have a probably like a bounty for our heads, and then they see like the giant claws and scales in the back of the thing, and they just go do this. Yes.
Yeah. Howdy there, Watchman.
I love. Okay, so yes, the watchman at the front is a lady we've never seen before. Um, she's not the mongrel from the old fortress from the fort you went by.
Mhm.
She looks a bit scientific. Like got smart eyes on her. Wears a nice coat.
Scientistic.
She has like all
I
kinds
can
of tools
respect
hanging from
anyone
her
who
belt.
dresses nicely.
She waves at you, and then gives good old Como the stink eye. The boyga, the homunculus.
I give her free stink eyes at the same time.
What?
Free eyes, remember?
I keep forgetting. She's just like, what? Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I'm not a snake, but I can probably just stare without blinking. I wave cheerfully, like, hello.
She kind of looks at your cart and goes, what's all that about, huh? Like,
Oh, you know, just
like
stumbled
she
upon
has
a
a little
nest of these
monocle in
things.
front of one of her eyes that looks a bit magical.
Huh. Does she recognize what this thing is? Do we even know what this thing is?
Considering you've turned it into parts, no, she can't tell anything.
Oh, well, we fought a dragon and we kind of exploded it with a butt explosion, and this is the only thing that remains.
What kind of dragon was it?
Fairly sure it was a water dragon.
What color was the water dragon?
What color are the scales?
Green?
Strange. Last time I saw a green dragon, they spat acid.
Well, these are strange times. And it was a planar dragon in any case.
Roll deception.
Planar dragon. Do.
Let me
Oh.
roll and see what comes out.
There you go. I rolled a critical. I bullshit my way through it.
What's the bullshit part that you add to it?
Aurora Borealis.
Are you saying that's green because of Aurora Borealis?
Green. Let's say it was a dragon that was affected by the magical fallout. Not way.
Does she buys that?
So yeah.
At
I
least
mean,
it's
I'd like you to. I'd like to see her not to buy it, considering these sick rolls. As I put sunglasses in my face, like
she
the
gives you
deal
all
with
like
it.
squinty eyes, because even Shady is like showing up weird on whatever her monocle is showing her, because her eyes.
What
are,
about
like,
Misty?
squinty.
What about Mist?
Misty
What
shows
about
up
the
a bit
bird?
funky too.
Funky,
'Cause it's
funky bird. Wow, that was a car.
Yep.
We are a funky bunch.
Not a troublemaking bunch, I hope.
Well, it's
No.
dead, so it's no longer be making any trouble.
I was talking
Yeah.
about the ones that weren't dead.
Yeah.
I don't think there are any more that it seemed pretty much alone. There was no nest whatsoever. I would imagine it was something like a rabbit one, maybe. Yes. I should probably get one of those. Yeah, this is really neat.
That's cool. She just kind of looks at you like in disbelief as to whether you were just that thick or if you're messing with
Thick. Extra thick. Well, I mean, how else would we procure an exploded dragon arm?
I was asking about you, not the dragon.
Oh. Well, we're not exactly troublemakers. We're more like trouble stoppers. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yep.
Rubbing
So-
elbows.
We are troubleshooters.
Troubleshooters. I love this pun. I like it a lot. This is funny.
Except you don't have a gun.
Oh,
Bang,
yeah,
bang.
crossbow.
Fair enough. Well,
Crossbow and bows.
she starts to pull the small caravan along. The last cart has a large canvas pulled over some sort of container, or maybe it's the item itself. You can't tell,
Hmm.
so you can't actually see the item in question. You do, however, notice that like a little bit behind the caravan is like the formation of clouds and like some small specks of snow, but it doesn't stay in one
Oh,
place, so it doesn't really affect it too much.
oh magic site, relic site.
Can Shady see through the drapes with his magical eyes?
Oh my,
Yeah.
I hate that dragon. It was like, oh, so fat and he wants to be skinny.
You hate him?
I think it's so sad that he doesn't have the belly he wants. I love someone drew a big old skinny dragon. But yes, Shady can in fact look through the cloak to some regard, because they were expecting people to use like detect magic, but not like actually see through the darn thing.
Mhm.
Shady, what you see inside, to the best of your ability at least, is some sort of large vase.
Oh. All right.
You can't make out many details, but you get the feeling that the vase has like 4 segments that are glued together with like metal wiring.
Uh-huh.
Like a metal trim, basically, between 4 individual segments that are glued onto it.
All right. Does this thing seem stable? Or is it leaking?
Well,
No, it just seems to create like a trail of ice behind it.
to the best of what your senses are able to pick up, the item is like active to some minor extent right now, but it doesn't seem to be like doing anything particularly strange.
So does it look like it was activated recently and they just dealt with whoever was trying to activate it?
What do you mean?
Well, the Watchmen are already aware that basically we reported the cultists to them, and we've reported this particular camp. So I would like to ask them if this is where they procured the item.
They did procure it
And
at the camp. They're not lying about that.
well, did somebody try to activate it?
So, she explains that according to the report she received, who knows if it's
Hmm.
truthful or not, the camp where it was stored, it was just kind of like sitting there in the center, and it was puffing out
Yeah.
clouds. It was just cloudy in the area, not much more.
Huh. Well, it does look like it was activated recently. So any
yes, we
change
have
in
to
weather
test it.
patterns because you did test it on what?
Well, on what is a weird question to ask, because it affects the local area.
Well, did you like start an ice age?
Right now, it just seems to make snow, so...
Oh. Well, I suppose a new brick tavern will actually benefit from this. You know,
But what do
making
you
ice
know
cubes
about it,
for.
homunculus?
Wow, that's very rude. Well, technically, we were the ones who reported that camp to the Watchman in the first place.
How lovely. And you shut
By
up
the
your...
way, where did we hear that it can cause this kind of like end of the world event?
Wait, what?
You did say that it can start an ice age, which means it's an end of the world event technically, because it's going
In
to kill
like
a
a
bunch of.
local area. It doesn't affect the whole world, to what you know.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. I just heard that it controls the weather.
Yeah. And can like
Like
locally affect the climate.
Nice, but seriously, this is an awesome thing for a tavern. Can we actually like buy it from you for the Newburgh Tavern?
Odds are the Watchmen, if they can manipulate it properly, are going to use it to like spur growth in crop fields and such.
Yeah, but we could use it to make a really nice mood in a tavern.
Not really the mood, but literally use it to like refrigerate meat and such, so you don't have to like salt it to all hell.
Oh, yeah, we could use it to cool drinks. That's a good idea.
Yes.
just get the most incredulous look.
Hmm.
Like she's just like, what?
Well, I mean, we're just thinking about like in practical terms.
And you think that growing more food is not a practical thing?
It is,
Eh,
but
well,
like we're just wondering if we can like legally buy it. We're not like gonna try to steal it from you or anything.
Mm-hmm. Suspicious you'd say
Probably
that.
how probably how it looks.
I mean, we're not gonna steal it or anything.
Well, I'm just bluntly telling them that I'm not gonna try to steal it. I can show them my character sheet. I don't have the stats to effectively steal an item of this size.
You just take that book, the ashes of the book, and you're like, here's my character sheet. Look, I
I
didn't build the thieving build. I'm fine.
I had a book of cool stories, but these idiots blew it up. They don't appreciate the high arts.
They don't appreciate the high arts of making gold.
Yes, 15 million per day, and they destroyed our ticket to being rich.
Fame and fortune.
Fame and fortune. Just fortune, no fame.
Well,
yeah.
This is me right now.
fucking cat mug. This little cat mug. Well,
Yes.
to put it bluntly, the you once more managed to make the Watchmen like very suspicious of you.
I know. Apparently, it's a curse and a
Apparently, all you
blessing.
do is piss them off.
Well, I mean,
What?
if they try to like, look, I'm not looking for a fight, but if you're gonna start a fight, I'm pretty sure at least one of us is gonna end up dead. I don't want anybody to end up dead. I
Okay.
mean, we just ass exploded the dragon. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Um, can I try to defuse the situation by just calming them down and shooing Boyka away from them?
You can. Mostly because
Yes.
she's just glad that he's no longer in front of her.
Uh, yeah, he can be a little strange, but he doesn't mean anything with that. We're just traveling here and just got got this nice haul, and yeah, we don't mean you any harm. Is what he is saying.
Yes, that.
And he maybe wants to purchase the artifact, but yeah,
We're not quite sure if we want to sell it so far.
and that's your prerogative.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just name the price. Maybe we have enough on us right now. Do they actually have a standing price on the kind of artifacts? I'm sure they have to sponsor themselves somehow, so I would imagine they would be selling the ones that are not very, very... Oh, maybe they're already selling it at a settlement. This is why they're delivering. Never mind then. Disregard that. If the settlement already paid, then fucking yeah. Go
Also,
ahead and...
once they figure out what to do with it, they might sell it, yes.
Yeah, cool.
Anything they don't have
Well,
to destroy.
Well, I mean, if they're
So-
going to be using... They're probably using some kind of like doom machine to improve the crops. That's kind of neat.
Long ago, it was
Sell
used to
or-
turn lands to deserts.
Sell or rent it.
Heck.
Just rent out the weather machine.
Anyway. The situation is diffused, and you just get some looks.
Well, I bid them adieu, and we'll head to whatever this town is over here.
You head over to the town. It's in a desert, so it's got all those nice little square houses with the wooden beams and the tarps on top. You know,
Uh,
nicely ventilated, well insulated.
yeah,
Nice.
did we catch the name of the town anywhere?
Actually, I don't have a name for this town yet.
Can we make up a name?
Go ahead. Give me a name.
Well, I mean, we could always just go with the standard regular Kickapoo in the middle of nowhere. But that would be weird. Yes. Maybe it's just some kind of a fortress in the desert. That would be neat, like a fort that has changed hands like a million times and nobody has the time to rebuild it properly. So half the walls are like, the holes in the walls are replaced with like wooden boards and planks.
I mean, it's in the middle of a desert. It's not like in any major strategic location.
Well, maybe
Sandy
it
Hollow.
used to be.
I like Sandy
There you
Hollow.
go.
I like Sandy Hollow.
Yes.
Heck.
Heck.
That's a town name in Australia.
Whoa! Australia! But yes, I'll be honest, after everything that Como did, I'm a little too chuckly right now.
I'm sorry. Well, at least your mood has improved, so there's that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But yes, it's a very flat town because there's not many features around. There's like dunes all around, but the town is sort of built in the valley of that. There is a small outlook fort at the top, which is very nicely built, out of sandstone. It stands out because it's actually also containing a lot of grey stone mixed between the sandstone. Otherwise, there's a big market on the central square, and everyone's kind of like, "Ooh, look at that coming in."
Yeah, as we roll into town with a wagon loaded down with monster bits.
What is this, Monster Hunter?
Probably.
But yes, what do you do?
We roll into town and guess we try to locate a skilled crafter.
You ask around a bit for the best tailor in town, and you are directed to a small little hut in the back. This one's like at the outskirts. It's not really like you'd expect like the fancy tailor in town to be like in the front where all the cool shops are at. This is like a little house, and inside is a little old lady who like comes out and says hello.
Hello, little old lady.
She's a lizard, by the way, and she's a very beige lizard. Like she fits in the scenery nicely.
Nice. That's cute.
Her eyes don't look like they work so well because she's got them half closed half the time.
Oh, that's sad.
Hello.
Can we get her glasses?
She kind of waves and she's hoping for an answer on her hello.
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 Hello. Who am I?
Like that, yeah.
Bringing a big cart to my house.
Yes, we actually have a supposedly green dragon scales and hide that we would like tailored into coats for all three of us.
Oh, I can make a few coats.
Would it be possible to make that those nails into some kind of armor?
Like what?
It's just first thing that sprang to mind was a breastplate.
The lady kind of looks at your big stack and just runs her hands over the scales and goes, "I can do that. I can do that. It's easy said and done."
It's probably easy to cut a couple of them up and just make like a laminar armor that is like super flexible. Because carrying these like shield sized scales on the back and the front is going to be very uncomfortable.
I was just thinking about making something out of the nails.
Mm-hmm.
Like
But nails are literally like claws and stuff. They're not like human nails.
They're big, bulky things.
It could be carved into something useful.
That's
Maybe.
in a flute. What the heck is with that lizard's eye, Belmore? That's so spooky. I'm spooked. Also, you can see the scales. That's cool. So cool.
Desert.
But yes. She's wording a middle to make whatever you want with it.
Poisonous desert.
Does the hide have the same properties as the scales?
Hide?
Yes.
What do you mean hide?
Like the skin? Or did we only get the scales?
Only the scales.
Okay.
Alright. Let's craft some scale mail then.
Look at that boy. Oh my god. This is a big flat tail. What the heck? He's so cute. I love it. Yes, you want some scale mail. I thought you wanted a cloak.
I do want the cloak, however,
Okay.
because I want to be comfy and, wrap myself up. Because if I just have the scale mail, then it's going to be just the torso surviving without the head and everything.
Ah,
Oh,
yes,
no.
a cloak.
She passed
Cloak.
away in 2010.
Yes.
Cloak.
Old lady. No. But yes, there is enough to make something of a scale mail if you really wanted to. But the claws could be used like as raw materials and sculpted down into something.
Yeah, maybe not scale mail. I checked my breastplate is actually better than scale mail. So the cloak will be interesting.
Yes. She kind of. She just kind of waves in to put the whole shabam you wanted her to use in front of the door, and she'll take care of it.
Nice.
Scale.
How much will it cost us, by the way?
We'll see. It just I'll see what it takes in a bit.
Well, we could take the claws to some kind of weapon crafter to make into swords or something.
Certainly. I can do that too. I do much of the thing making around here.
Oh wow!
I like this old lady already.
I like that dragon who hides a big old hoard of little coins. He's so cute, he's so chubby! He looks so fat. But yes, the lady, at least she sounds like she's more than capable with it.
I'm gonna get her some glasses next time I'm for town.
Fair enough.
Okay. So yeah, have some clothes made for us.
Fancy clothes too.
Like I don't know what else we could make out of those clothes. Like weird armors, maybe just some arts and crafts.
Parts and crafts.
So really fancy back scratchers.
A back scratcher made out of dead monster claw.
There's decadence for you.
It's a butt scratcher.
Oh my god.
What?
This is incredible.
What?
Inside too, you can have a ruler! But
Wait,
yes,
what?
the lady is more willing to make whatever you want for you. So you can go get your cloaks. She says that it's going to take like a couple of days to do it because, she's an old lady. It'll take a while, even if it's just a cloak.
Nah, old lady, take your time.
Anything
So
else you
cool.
want from the old lady?
Will the cloaks have any special properties to them?
No, fire resistance. Well, not resistance, like...
You don't know.
Well, here's the hoping.
Like, she doesn't seem like she's like, I'll make what I'll make.
Could we hire some magical or alchemical assistance for her?
She's got this. She gives you a little wink, like I got this covered.
All right, all right. Well, if you have this in, well, I trust you know what you're doing then.
Wink.
Hmm.
I'd like to think that she actually pronounced that as she winked.
She's got this covered. Don't you worry your pretty little face about it.
She called my face pretty, the first person in like half a year that we've been playing this.
Yep.
This is my favorite NPC from now on.
Heck,
Yeah,
don't be so nice.
maybe.
What is that fucking thing you just posted?
Somebody modded a gecko companion to wear a top hat, a monocle, and a suit.
That's a big heck, if I may say.
Yeah,
But yes.
maybe we shouldn't get her glasses then.
Why not?
Well, her opinion of his face might change.
She thinks she has a cute face.
No, she called my face cute, not hers.
Oh. She also wondered what the hell's up with that bird.
It's a bird. Yeah.
So yeah, I am a bit unsure what else we could make out of the monster bits that we brought with us. Like,
I mean, again, you could just leave it all with her and she'll figure something out to do.
okay, well, make us something beautiful. We had the money.
Disappoint you, lovely little youngsters. She grabs
Excellent.
Boyka by the cheek and gives it a little pinch. This one's a little weird though.
Wait, whose?
Your Boyka's cheeks get pinched. She's like, you're a little weird. She's like picking up that you're not like you know. You're a little
Yeah, I'm pretty weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be one of those grandmothers you just every time you come around you leave with like a little bit of money and a bunch of food, some pocket change?
Heck. She's just trying to be nice, man.
I know it's cute.
She's trying to be a sweet old granny. But yes, she does like offer you like some food that she had lying around. It's not cookies. It's like small little dumplings.
Hmm. All right. Well, thank you.
They're very tasty. They smell good.
Oh, yeah.
Granny's dumplings.
Thank you.
You ate my dumplings, fools!
Why are we
no.
fools though? Is she gonna try and kill us? Oh no.
No, she's just having a blast.
I mean, I can appreciate an old granny's food.
You should be able to appreciate an old granny being an old lady. She just wants to bully. But yes, how about I don't know. I don't know. No. I'm being too chuckly. Maybe now is not a good time to do more stuff because I'm getting too chuckly. We'll just say that you're checking at the local inn, and next time we'll pick up. With
Okay.
the time.
I could maybe just refill my bolts and arrows back
Sure.
to 20.
I'm not gonna sit on that too much on your inventory, but you're sure.
I don't know if that what that would even cost, like to buy 4 bolts and 4 arrows.
Neither do I, and I can't be bothered to look it up because that's like peanuts for you guys.
Yeah. That's
Well, maybe. Well, I mean, the problem with this whole gold issue is that why not create a separate, like entirely separate system that doesn't scale with level, so you don't end up getting like millions of gold coins out of nowhere? It's like, why not say at level 1 gold piece is a lot, and at level 21 gold piece is still a lot?
Huh. Yeah.
But they're just something for.
okay. How about I used two silver coins to refill my
Just
arrow.
say use 2 silver.
That's
You
done
get all
enough.
the arrows you need. I'm sorry I was such a chuckle fuck today.
Ah,
I'm messing
Can
things up.
this be my? I mean, Shady's accumulating like titles. Can
Yeah.
this be my title?
Heck, I don't know, man, if it's what you accumulate in your life.
Boyga the chuckle fuck.
No, that's me being a chuckle fuck, not you.
Well, okay, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Suffy the chuckle fuck. There you go.
What am I looking at here?
2 short videos.
I'll watch them once the stream's over, which I'll do right now. Goodbye, everyone.
Yeah. Goodbye,
Goodbye.
everyone. Thanks
The
for
stream was a mess.
this. It was a mess. I thought it was pretty fun.
Yay.
it's
Did
for
you guys
funny.
enjoy it? I mean, I can buy another book if you don't behave.
You don't behave.
Yes. You just took and like destroyed my book. I spent like 5 gold coins on this. I still have 561 gold coin. I can buy more books with more ridiculous stuff.
But as you destroy books, they become more expensive.
Fine, I'll just buy all of them at once before the inflation catches up.
It has a whole cart of books with them.
A whole cart of books, and I'm just following people around. It's like following fat people around with a tuba, right? But I'm following people with a book on ancient secrets, game-breaking secrets. It's probably like Eldritch Truth, and it drives people insane.
Did you know about this guy who blows you up through the ass?
Really though, this is like an amusing thing because I've been thinking of something like that, using teleport to blow a person up.
Anyway,
But it probably has restrictions. Yes.
stream ending. Bye.
Goodbye.
I'll start the stream
I
up real
hope-
fast, and it should still catch it. Now you can say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Woohoo!